Vocabulary related to Wuhan coronavirus. This word is being flooded with unfamiliar words and phrases in coverage of the newly discovered coronavirus. It's useful to understand relevant medical terms during a time of health crisis. Coronavirus. This term refers to a category of viruses that can cause fever, breathing difficulties, pneumonia, and diarrhea. Some are potentially fatal. Others can cause a certain percentage of common colds. The name comes from the shape of the virus. Coronaviruses originate in animals and are usually not transmissible to humans. But occasionally, a coronavirus mutates and can pass from animals to humans and then from human to human. Novel coronavirus. A coronavirus strain that has not been previously identified. The Wuhan coronavirus, for example, is novel because it is a new respiratory virus that was first identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Confirmed case. A potential case is a person who is likely to have been infected with a specific disease, while a confirmed case is a person who has been proven through clinical or laboratory procedures to be infected with the specific disease. Epidemic. A sudden increase in the number of cases of a disease in a particular geographic area beyond the number health officials expect. An increase that occurs in a relatively small geographic area or among a small group of people may be called an outbreak. For example, AIDS, which affects 1.2 million people in the United States, is an epidemic. By contrast, 2 cases of sickness from drinking raw milk in the United States is called an outbreak. Pandemic. An epidemic spanning many countries or several continents. The difference between an outbreak, an epidemic, and a pandemic can be murky and depends on the opinions of scientists and the health officials. Emerging disease. A disease that occurs in the population of a certain geographic region for the first time, or a disease that has been present at low levels in the region but then rapidly reaches new peaks in the number of cases reported. Animal-human interface. The points of contact between animals and humans. When people cut down forests and set up dwellings where forest animals are still prevalent. For example, some types of diseases spread from animals to humans at this interface. Reservoir. An animal, plant, or environment in which a disease can persist for long periods of time. For example, some bats serve as a reservoir for rabies and can spread the disease by biting humans. Zoonotic. Any disease that spreads from animals to people. The animals can range from tiny ticks to lumbering cattle. Transmission. How a disease is transferred. This happens in different ways. There's direct transmission, person-to-person contact, and the droplet spread. And there is indirect transmission, for example, consuming contaminated food and water, getting bitten by a disease-carrying mosquito or tick, or breathing in a microbe carried by dust. Person-to-person contact. how a disease might spread from one person to another. This can happen in many ways: by kissing, touching, having sex, exchanging bodily fluids, sneezing, or coughing. Droplet. The spread produced by sneezing, coughing, or even talking. Droplets can spread disease when an infected person coughs or sneezes, and the spray lands on a nearby person's mouth, nose, or eyes. It can also spread when a person touches a body part or a surface with infected droplets, then touches their face. Incubation period. The process or period of time in which harmful bacteria or viruses increase in size or number in a person's or animal's body but do not yet produce the effects of disease. Isolation. Separating infected and sick individuals from healthy individuals. Hospitals commonly put sick patients in isolation to prevent the spread of disease. Quarantine. The separation or restriction of movement of individuals who appear to be healthy but may have been exposed to an infectious disease to see if they become sick. Contact tracing. Identifying people who may have come into contact with a person infected with the disease. Screening. A health check to see whether a person has a disease, often by taking their temperature and then asking questions about symptoms if the temperature is high. Reproductive rate. The number of people one victim can infect, known as the reproductive rate or reproduction number of a virus or pathogen. SARS, by comparison, was between 2 and 5, and measles, the most contagious disease known to humans, is a whopping 12 to 18.